Oh, canto a voz da lua. Oh, canto alma do mar. Oh, canto a voz da lua. Oh, canto alma do mar. No meu coração corre riacho, ondas que vêm pra me levar. Whoa. Welcome back to Spiritual Guitar. My name is Devin. This is Daya, and today we are playing Canto da Lua. This is a really beautiful, powerful prayer song, and it's fairly simple and approachable. I'm going to show you two different versions. The first is going to use just 4 simple chords, more geared towards beginners and those just kind of starting to approach guitar and medicine music. And then another more advanced version, we'll call it. It introduces 2 more chords and some variations of chord shapes that give it a bit more dynamic and rich harmony to me. So let's get into it. The first part, which is just going to be the 2 lines, O canto a voz da lua, O canto alma do mar. That's just going to go back and forth from an A minor chord to an F major 7. And I'll throw up the chord charts here. A minor to an F major 7 chord. Now, what I will say, something I like to incorporate practice tips into each one of these lessons, when you are changing chords, it's always very good to look for an anchor point. And that is a finger that is going to stay the same in both of these chords. So we have one here, and that's going to be our first finger. So when you're changing chords, let's have our A minor chord shape ready. When we move to our F major 7, we're going to lift up our second and third fingers, keep our first finger down, and then we're just going to shift our second and third fingers into place here. And this is an F major 7. This is an F bar chord, right? So an F major 7 just has an E in it. So you have your high E here, and we can just simplify this chord with our F, A, C, E. And it's really nice to go back and forth between this A minor and the F major 7 because there's only one note that is different, right? In the A minor chord, we have A, E, A, C, E. So A, C, E, or I think of it as ace, right? Ace, A, C, E. Those are the notes in our A minor chord. When we go to our F major 7 chord, we have F, A, C, E. So there's that A, C, E. This is our A minor chord. If we don't play this F note, this is an A minor chord. And we're just taking what was this E in the bass of the A minor chord and we're moving it to an F. So essentially we're keeping the top notes the same and we're just moving this bass note. Yeah, it's really pretty and it's really cool how that works. There's such similar chords. So I'll just show you the right hand finger picking pattern. Let's keep our fingers in the A minor shape, and it's going to use our thumb, our index, our middle, and our ring finger. So it's a bit trickier, but it is still fairly simple and fairly approachable. So we'll play it really, really slowly. Your thumb is going to hold down the bass notes. So generally your thumb is responsible for the low 3 strings. It's the bass note finger, and then your index is usually on the 3rd string, your middle finger is usually on the 2nd string, and your ring finger is usually on the high E string. So for the A minor, thumb on the 5th string, that's the lowest string in the chord, your A string, we're going to go. We play it fast, it sounds like this. It's so beautiful, so great. First we have thumb, I, M, I. Thumb, I, M, I. That's thumb on the 5th string, I on the 3rd string, M on the 2nd string, I on the 3rd string. So just do that first. That's P-I-M-I, P-I-M-I. Now, we're going to begin alternating our P, only with the A minor chord here, but we're going to alternate our P between the bass notes. So that's going to be the 5th string and the 4th string, this D string, which is your E note, right? So we're going to go. See, I'm alternating my thumb, 5th string, 4th string, 5th string, I, M, I, 4th string, I, M, I, 5th string, I, M, I, 4th string, I, M, I. Now, to complete the pattern, when we play our thumb the second time, so when we alternate it and we're striking the 4th string, we're going to bring our ring finger in and we're going to play the high E note at the same time. So really slowly, that's going to look like this. What's cool about this is E, right? That's an E. This is an E. It's an octave. So we're playing the same note, same sound, we just get both octaves of it. So we get the middle level octave of this E, and then we get the high ring. It's just a nice effect. And you let that high E, when you play that high E with your ring finger, that rings and sustains over the rest of the finger picking pattern. Listen how it rings out. I think of it, it's like a little bell or like a little triangle hit up top. Ching, like, you know, ding. I'm so off key and out of tune, but that's supposed to be the note. Dum, bum, bum, bum. So just take your time getting used to this right hand finger picking pattern before you go into the rest of the chords. What I like to do is just sit with the pattern and play it slowly. Use a metronome and slow down. Play it painfully slowly, as slow as you can play it. You want all the notes to be ringing, sustaining. If you can manage it, you want to think about the dynamics of your notes, and you actually want the outside notes to be louder than the inside notes, meaning the bass notes with your thumb and this E note that we're going to play with our high ring finger. You want those to stand out. And these more inside notes, they're more filler notes. They're creating really just the soft bed that our bass and this high E are going to stand out against. And they're going to give you that contrast. So when you listen to how I play it, you should hear my low bass and my high E more clearly than you'll hear the other notes, right? And just one thing, if you're struggling with your right hand, you need some help, I have some right hand finger picking exercises, some sheet music that's using very, very simple chord shapes in the left hand, and it kind of works you through the fundamental steps, very simple right hand finger picking patterns, and it's going to work you up to something like this. So check out my Patreon, check out the shop for these fingerstyle picking patterns for medicine music if you want to improve your right hand and you're struggling with this. Okay, so we have our right hand finger picking pattern down. For the beginner, or for this section of the video, that finger picking pattern is going to stay the same throughout all these chord changes. So we'll keep that consistent, and let's look at the rest of these chords. So we have an A minor, and we're going to move to this F major 7. Now, with your F major 7 chord, your thumb is no longer playing the 5th string as your bass string. Your bass is now the 4th string, and it stays here the entire time. So you're not going to have that reference point of alternating strings with your thumb to play your ring finger. but always the second time you hit your thumb is when your ring finger comes. So slowly it sounds like this. P, I, M, I, P and A, I, M, I. P, I, M, I, P, A, I, M, I. All right, let's go back and forth between the A minor chord and the F major 7. So what's really cool about these two chords, let's just nerd out for a second on the theory here. We're going from our A minor to an F major 7. And while we're doing these chords, this top E note is ringing out and sustaining both times. And depending on the bass notes that you're using, they give this E note a different character and a different quality. That's harmony. It's the same melody note up top, or let's just call this a drone tone, you know? It's just that same note across two different chords, but when we change from our A minor to an F major 7, same E note on the top, really cool. And the only thing that you're really changing is this note is changing from an E to an F. That's the only thing that is changing in both of these chords. And it's going to give it just a totally different tone. Super cool. So it's going to sound like this. Oh, canto voz da lua. Oh, canto do mar. Oh, canto a voz da lua. Oh, canto do mar. So we play that twice, and we're going to change the chord from the A minor to your F major 7 on the last word of each one of those lines. So it's lua and mar. So, oh, canto a voz da lua. Oh, canto do mar. I'm gonna just keep saying this throughout the video. Please excuse my Portuguese. Do not reference my pronunciation. I'm teaching you the guitar part here. I am not a good teacher of Portuguese. I'm just struggling through it myself for now. So just take it with a grain of salt. I'm just trying to show you where the words fall with the lyrics, and I'm just singing along so you can get a full picture of the song. But I don't think by any means that my voice or my pronunciation of the words are what you should be learning. So please learn the words and the lyrics from somebody else and let me know what I'm doing wrong so that I can learn and improve myself. Okay, let's move into the next and last part of the song. There's only two parts here. And we're going to do a B minor 7 chord to a C. And with this C, you can also put with your pinky the G on the high third fret, first string, 3rd fret, back to B minor 7, and then we go to an E major. All right, so we have 3 chords there: B minor 7, C, B minor 7, to E major. And there's a little turnaround lick that we'll do at the end of this to get you from your E major back to your A minor. So let's start with our B minor 7, and this is going to come in on coração. So, no meu coração, cor é riacho, ondas que vêm pra me levar. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Right? So our finger picking pattern with the right hand is the same. With all of these chords, or with the B minor 7 and with our C chord, you're going to alternate your thumb like we did for our A minor chord. So it's P, I, M, I. Alternate your thumb to the fourth string, P, A, I, M, I. To C. Back to your B minor 7 to an E major. And now sometimes what I'll do with my C, so let's start over again, B minor 7, C, and I'll put my pinky down on that G note there. Do you hear the difference? So without pinky, it just kind of leads you back to that F sharp, right? That's what I'm doing. Right? And just that last lick. So let's go to the E major chord here and incorporate the turnaround. So the first part, we're going to play the same right hand finger picking pattern. However, our thumb moves down to the low 6th string in your bass. So it's like this. Alternate your thumb to the 4th string. So we're going to skip over the 5th string. Play your thumb and your ring finger, just if you have. So one more time, that's low 6th string, 4th string and ring finger. And then after your last I, your thumb, instead of going back to starting on your low 6th string, is going to go to your 4th string, and we're going to play a series of notes. We're going to play E, which has our 3rd finger already down on it in the E major chord shape. Then we're going to lift up our 3rd finger to play the open D. Then we're going to put our pinky down on the 3rd fret, 5th string to play our C. And then we're going to lift up our pinky to play our B, which is already held down by our middle finger in the E major chord shape. And in between each one of these notes, we are going to, with our index finger, pluck the G string, the 3rd string. So your thumb is playing all these bass notes, and in between each thumb stroke, your index finger is going to play the 3rd string. Sounds like this. And it brings us right to the A major, or the A minor, right? So it sounds like this. So that's the full song that takes you through each one of the chords, that shares the lyrics with you, and it gives you a good idea of the right hand finger picking pattern. So hopefully that helps. Like I said, I have the sheet music available if you want to follow along with that, and this isn't enough on its own. Head over to my Patreon and you can grab the sheet music there. Otherwise, hopefully this is good enough and you can learn the song and follow along with just this video. I'm going to end it here for the Patreon and the YouTube members, so thank you very much. I'm going to now move into the more complex and rich harmony that I wrote and that I like to play. And I'm reserving this for the premium or the paid Patreon members. So I'm going to work on that now. And thank you very much to everybody else. I really appreciate you watching. I hope this helped. I really love this song. I just wanted to share it with you. As I said, excuse my Portuguese, please, and my pronunciation. Hopefully you were able to get through it. But I really appreciate you watching and I appreciate the support. Thank you very much.